Yes, my name is Jonathan Mרגלית, and what else can I say? I live in Tivon, Kiryat Tivon, near Basmat Tabun, and I've been living in Israel. I came to Israel 50 years ago, almost exactly. July 14th will be 50 years since I first moved to Israel, and I'm 68 years old. I have a family, a wife and a daughter, and a sister. And that's it. That's the last one person left in my family is my sister, who lives in Germany. Okay?
That's fine. Why did you choose to live in Israel?
Yes. My family was Zionist. In other words, Zionist means they're Jewish people who feel a very strong attraction to the country of Israel. My father's father, my grandfather, was from Romania. And he came to Israel when he was 14 years old and studied in an agricultural school here in Israel when he was 14. He was just young, he was very young, he was like a young teenager. And then he went to the States to bring more people back to Israel, but then he stayed in the States because he got sick. So he stayed in the States. And my mother's mother was also loved Israel so much. She used to sell items from Israel to people to make money for Israel and gave the money to Israel. So my parents were very Zionist, and they got me involved. I was involved in a youth group that was connected to Israel. And then we went on a trip in 1962. The family went, the whole family, my brother, my sister, my parents, and I. And my parents absolutely, that was the first time they came to Israel. They completely fell in love. They said, we are going to move here. So in 1969, we moved here. I was 18. I had just finished high school. So I went to a kibbutz, and I was on a one-year program with other youths my age. And that's how I started. That was my introduction to Israel, living on a kibbutz.
What difficulties
yes.
Do you face in living here?
In living here? Israel has changed since I first lived here. And not in a good way, I'm sorry to say. I don't think it was ever an easy country, but it's become, first of all, much more crowded. It's a very crowded country now. Lots of traffic jams, lots of, people, the families, big families growing very quickly, and immigrants. It's also become more nationalistic, like right-wing kind of people, a lot of people wearing skull caps, kippot, who believe that Israel, I don't know, they don't believe in peace, really. So that I feel less hope. I feel less hope that we'll have peace in Israel. And because it's becoming more crowded, another thing that's not easy is that people have short tempers. When it's crowded, you have less patience. Everybody's pushing in line. Everybody's pushing on the roads. If you drive just a normal speed, people start to honk you. If you're a little bit confused, you don't know your way, people start to honk you. It's like people are not very patient and tolerant sometimes. That's a challenge of living in Israel. Yes.
Okay. Do you miss your life in America?
Not really. I never say, boy, do I wish I was there, or I don't even have this desire, boy, do I want to travel to America. I really just want to see America even. I mean, it's nice I've been back. Not every year. I've been back several times since I moved here 50 years ago. And I lived there even. I went back to live there for a while when I was young. I was looking for another direction. I wasn't sure what my profession would be way before I became a teacher. So I tried America again. My brother was there for a while. So I went there to be near him, and I became a computer pro. I tried this and that. But I never felt a special, this is my home, even though I grew up in America. I never felt this is my home. So I don't feel a special, I don't miss America actually. I don't really miss America. It's nice to go back.
Okay, finally, could you give some advice to future immigrants?
Future immigrants?
One advice.
One piece of advice?
Yeah.
You have to have, first of all, it's not an easy country. It's not easy to buy a home in Israel. You need patience. It helps if you bring money with you, or you have a good profession. I think, although, and to know that people maybe have a tough exterior. They can be impatient, but people also are very good here too. They're caring. They can be caring. They can be helpful. They can be warm. So don't fall immediately for this aggressive behavior. Don't think that's who the people are. You have to try to see under that, really. And I think you might appreciate living here.
What about the traditions and the culture here?
Yeah, that's also, it's a nice thing that they observe the holidays and the atmosphere, something that I did not have in America, because I lived in a Christian country. So it's nice to see everybody, celebrating the holidays together, and that's nice also. I guess, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jonathan.